Got it. I just wanted to share a little bit about who API is. And again, my name is Jay Bartletti. I'm one of the university relations people who cover California and specifically Cal State Fullerton. I've worked with Sheree and many others for over a decade now. So it's nice to meet you all. And hopefully I'm going to go into some overview of API types of programs, but I'm really going to kind of narrow in on how you can utilize the tools we have to find career ready type programming if you're looking at internships or experiential learning, as well as finding programs that match your major or specific classes that you really need to get while you're abroad. I'll be covering semester, summer, and then we also have some remote learning opportunities that you can do while you're taking classes at Fullerton. You can do like a part-time internship, etc. So I'll get into some of those, and then we can have some time at the end for some Q&A. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into it real quick. Okay, so I work for API Academic Programs International. It's an organization been around for 25 years, and we're an affiliate of Cal State Fullerton. So we work closely with their office, Sheree's office, as well as the entire campus. And a little bit about, our job is to connect you all in Orange County to the world. And we have programs around the globe that offer a variety of types of learning that you can be a part of. So kind of the history, these four women, we call them the founding mamas, created API in 1997. So they're the ones that wanted to create an organization where they felt comfortable sending their own children on. So health and safety is paramount. That's come to light, obviously, in the past year and a half with the pandemic. So we've been able to navigate bringing students home and making sure they're safe while they're abroad, given all the COVID restrictions. So it's a big part of who we are as an organization. And a lot of what we do is give back to local communities, which I'll get into as well, but that's a little foundational knowledge for you. So we have a variety of programs in a variety of countries. So we have traditional study abroad, where it's a semester-based program, fall, spring, or you can do a full academic year. And then we have a lot of smaller, shorter term, like J-term, winter term, Maymester, if you do like a 3-4 week program in May after you finish classes at Fullerton, and then summer options as well. And then the experiential side, we have a lot of internships around the world as well. Most students do them in the summer for 10 weeks, but we also have longer term ones during the fall and spring, including the part-time one, virtual ones that I mentioned earlier. And then we have some virtual programs, which are community-based ones and innovation labs. It's kind of like an MBA course where you look at one of the sustainable development goals from the UN, like clean water or education for all. And then you work with a group of students to ideate, test the market with your solution, and actually pitch it at the end. So we have some pretty creative opportunities in the virtual realm as well. So what to expect from API? We do a little bit of everything from the beginning to help you find the right course and right program that you need, to helping you navigate the application process, getting accepted at the university abroad who we work with. And then once you're on site, we pick you up. We have our staff on the ground who meet you at the airport or train station. And then we do, everything's included in the program, the tuition, excursions, the housing, the insurance. But we do a lot of fun opportunities, try to immerse you as much as we can into the local community. So we do a lot of cultural activities, and then we do some fun excursions, both domestically within, let's say, Spain, and then internationally to go to France or down to Italy, etc. So, and then we have some volunteer opportunities and as a part of all of our programs. So, so on site, you take courses at a host institution. So let's say I mentioned Spain. So if you wanted to go to Universitat de Barcelona, you can go there, take classes. That's where I studied for a year. But all of the universities we work with abroad are fully accredited. So the courses transfer back as long as you make sure that the courses align with your major, your GEs, and your electives as well. Durations vary. Semesters are basically 15 weeks. Summers can range from 2 weeks all the way up to 10 weeks in the summer. But our staff on the ground is really who we are. They are your counselors, your resident staff, your travel advisors, your academic advisors. They're the ones there to help you navigate this new culture, this new country, and they're there for any needs that you have. So In terms of, let's talk about internships. So this is something critical that I think you all should consider in your academic career at Fullerton. Try to get as many experiential learning opportunities as you can. Study abroad is one example of that, but you can combine it with an internship and you can do it globally. So it shows future employers that, hey, I've learned all these skills while I've been in college. But it's also a great way to kind of test out your career before you actually get into it. So we have, locations that I mentioned in the previous slide around the world. You tell us kind of what your career goals, your personal aspirations are, and we'll line up an organization. Could be a Fortune 500 company, could be a small startup, and mid-size, anywhere in between. All of our placements are in English, even in non-English speaking countries, unless you have a fluency in another language. And that'll open more doors. So if you have Spanish, Costa Rica, or wherever else, there's a lot of other opportunities. But we place you in the placement. We provide the housing, orientation to make sure you're prepped and ready for this experience. And then we also provide these things we call our API digital badges, which are these little circles like career development and workplace communication. Those show the skills you've earned while doing the internship, and you can post it on your LinkedIn profile as well as your ePortfolio. And employers can go in and see all the skills you've earned, and you can talk about that through an internship. But it also links you to a job posting site, so you can actually see how those skills and what jobs are associated with those skills you earn. So it's a great opportunity there. Like I mentioned, we do a lot of fun cultural activities when you're on site, but we also do a lot of fun activities virtually as well. Our resident staff have created hundreds of hours of content around, like, let's tour graffiti art in Santiago, Chile, and talk about the cultural elements of that art. So we can do it virtually, but on site, obviously, most students would like to touch it, see it, feel it, and our resident staff help you navigate that. We do cooking classes, we do some historical tours, we'll go to soccer matches, we'll do some sporting activities, some artistic type festivals, and it's all part of the program price. So. And it's a great place to meet other students on the program and get to know the local culture as well. So, our excursions, like I mentioned, we go beyond just, let's say you studied in Barcelona, we take you down to Valencia. In this experience, you'd go to Madrid and Cadiz, which is way down southern Spain. So that's all part of the program. It's a great way to see the country and neighboring countries as well. And you can either choose to do these programs, or if you're more independent and want to do your own thing, you can do that too. But just know that they're there as part of the program. So housing, it'll vary based on location. So some places may just have like dorms and apartments. Other places will have host families. So when I studied abroad in Mexico, I lived with a host family for 10 weeks in Michoacan. I lived in an apartment in Spain for a year. So it's just a variety of different types of experiences. If you want to really immerse yourself, I think a host family is great because you practice your language every day. Dorms are great because you're living with international students. In an apartment, you'll be living with other American students, but there's some freedoms with having an apartment as well. So you have those options. And then this is a key factor in what we do as an organization is, a lot of times you go to a place and you take a tour, you take a photo, there's a lot of taking, but we really want to give back to the local community where we host our students. So every program we offer around the world has one day where we give back to the local community because we have an impact in that society. So we want to actually show them, hey, we don't just want to take from you, we also want to help and give back. And there's some projects down here, beautification of a beach and working with local orphanages, et cetera. So it's voluntary. It's up to you if you want to participate, but it's an option that we encourage our students to do. So scholarships, obviously you got to pay for these programs, and we offer a wide range of different scholarships. We have first generation ones, we have diversity, we have STEM ones, so by your academic major. We also have regional ones based on the location in the world where you're going to study. So, take a couple hours to write an essay, and you can apply to multiple scholarships. And then we also have affiliate scholarships through Fullerton as well. And there's some deadlines. So if you're looking at spring, October 30th would be the deadline for scholarships. So keep that in mind. And then we also have a lot of programs under 13.5, K price range, because cost is definitely a factor. I know the Cal State students well, and your tuition is pretty low. So I kind of wanted to highlight all the locations where we have programs that are less than 13K. And if you click on this little, I'm going to take you to our website. It's called Get Going for Less. So to kind of highlight, here's all the programs, under 13K, but you can also do internships, the virtual programs, as well as some short term. So you can click on all those and it'll show you all the different programs that are offered and the price range there. So if you're really looking at, budgetary constraints, this is a good resource to use as well. Moving on to some of the virtual elements, you probably are very tired of Zoom, but it is part of our life now. And there's some great opportunities. So like our Global Select program, you can take one course from, oops, let me go back, sorry. From an institution, we have 70 different institutions we work with abroad. So you can just take one course like social justice in Costa Rica while you're taking classes at Fullerton. So that's an interesting way of looking at it. Our innovation labs are basically 4 to 6 students who are solving one of the UN sustainability goals, like I mentioned before, but it's 3 international students and 3 domestic students. So you could be working with students from Argentina to Italy to the UAE, trying to solve the clean water sustainable development goal. And you ideate and you actually do a pitch at the end to a group of experts within the field that you're studying, like clean water, for example. So that's a great way to get experience. It's very cost affordable, but it's also very practical. And some students have gone on to build business plans and pitch it to investors and move on from there to create their own career through our API innovation labs. So and then we have our virtual internships, which you can work with a global company while staying in Fullerton, taking classes, but also engaging, in meetings, you're doing projects, and you're learning how to really be an employee in a virtual environment, which you might be when you graduate, since working virtually is more common now than ever before. So, and then we have some short-term online language courses that you can take as well in France and in Spain and Latin America as well. And this is a little bit about our website. We have a lot of reviews if you want to go to some of these websites to see what past students and our alumni say about our programs. But I'm going to highlight this program finder. It'll take you to our website. And this is a great way to kind of narrow down exactly what you're interested in. So if you want to look at, if you want to do like, okay, I want to go intern abroad, you can click apply and there's 20 programs. Then you can delve into the costs and everything else that make up each of those programs. If you wanted to, go into an area of study, let's say you want to do business administration, you hit apply. There's, I think it still keeps my internship here, study abroad, apply. So there's 53 programs for students who are majoring in business, for example. And then you can click through to each of the programs. It says engineering, but it also has business curriculum, and it tells you a bit more about each of the programs, transcript, deadlines, etc. So that's a great tool to kind of narrow down your search. But this one, the API class finder, is for students like yourselves who are really looking at specific classes. So I just did a session on social justice for another university today. And this is, you can type in any subject, and it'll down here will list all the classes we offer, the locations, and then the sessions that they're available. So if you're looking at, well, let's look at the global impact of sport. Well, you can go to Edinburgh, Scotland. It tells you a course description, what it's taught in, and then it also talks about the program it's associated with, and you can actually view the syllabus as well. And a cool feature is you can click this heart right here, and up at the top, it'll save what classes you clicked on. Then you can actually copy this link and send it to like an academic advisor or your study abroad advisor to show these are the classes I'm interested in, will they count for my major requirements, etc. So those are 2 great tools. You can find those on our homepage. They're always at the top, find program or find classes. So, and then another great thing is our resource library. So this is another place where a lot of students like to go if you're interested in, hey, we're in a pandemic. What are you doing on site in Italy? And it'll list what's going on, what are the requirements for, testing, etc., vaccinations. So Get Going for Less is that under 13K one. But these are all the different features of API in our programs that you can see, what's the housing and meals like in X country. We have a lot of DEI initiatives that you can click on and see, for example, what's API doing around DEI? What are the resources for financing? How do we help first gen students, students of color, non-traditional students who have full-time jobs or have a family? We work with veterans, etc., religious, spiritual elements, and those, women travelers are going on their own, and then health concerns and all that. So those are all the resources that we have on our website. So I just wanted to point those out because it's pretty heavy in terms of content. And then applying, you're going to be assigned a program manager on our team. So if you're going to, Florence, Italy, they'll tell you, okay, this is your assigned program manager. They'll answer any questions you have about classes, housing, travel, visas, getting a passport, etc. So we're here for you students. So if you have any questions, just please ask and we'll provide that. We do a lot of COVID updates pretty much daily. We check the CDC and the State Department, and our resident staff on site are looking at everything happening in real time. So just know that you'll be safe and secure when you get there, and we'll make sure you have all the knowledge and elements that you need before you leave to give to your guardians or your parents, just so you feel secure before you leave. So we have a lot of alumni. So, I'm this old guy talking to you about all these programs, but if you want to talk to a peer who just got back from a study abroad program, we have hundreds of alumni that you can speak to about specific programs. And it's a great resource to just kind of get to know who we are, get to know the programs, what they liked, what they didn't. And it's a great resource as well. So that's kind of the general content of who API is and who we are. Here's my information here. If you want to reach out to me, that's my cell phone. And then that's my email. So please feel free to touch base with me if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them now as well.